Imagine this. While many of us are still tied to the traditional 8 p.m. dinner, a growing number of young people, especially Gen Z, are embracing a surprisingly old yet newly rediscovered practice: eating their last meal earlier in the day. This isn't just a quirky lifestyle choice or a viral TikTok trend. Scientists are beginning to uncover that eating earlier could be one of the simplest, most powerful habits for extending both health span and lifespan. In this video, we'll dive deep into the fascinating science of early time-restricted feeding, the biological clocks that govern our metabolism, and why shifting dinner back a few hours might profoundly change how long and how well you live. Let's start with the concept of circadian rhythms. Your body isn't a machine that runs on autopilot 24/7. It's governed by an internal clock that aligns with the rising and setting of the sun. Every cell in your body has its own clock, and these clocks regulate digestion, metabolism, hormone release, and even DNA repair. When you eat late at night, especially heavy meals high in fat and sugar, you're not only fueling your body at the wrong time, but you're also forcing your internal clocks out of sync. Over time, this mismatch is linked to increased risk of obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and premature aging. Here's where Gen Z's early dinner trend gets interesting. By moving meals earlier in the day, often finishing by 6 p.m. or even earlier, they're unintentionally tapping into time-restricted feeding (TRF) strategies that leading scientists like Dr. Sachin Panda and Dr. Courtney Peterson have been studying for years. Clinical studies on early TRF, also known as ETRF, show significant improvements in insulin sensitivity, blood pressure, oxidative stress markers, and even appetite regulation. In one groundbreaking study, participants who ate within a 6-hour window, with dinner by mid-afternoon, experienced improved metabolic health even without losing weight. But why does eating early have such a profound effect? It's about aligning food intake with your body's natural metabolic rhythm. In the morning and afternoon, insulin sensitivity is at its peak. Your body is primed to use glucose efficiently, burn calories more effectively, and reduce fat storage. At night, insulin sensitivity plummets, digestion slows, and your body prefers rest and repair. Forcing it to process food during these hours leads to higher blood sugar spikes, greater fat accumulation, and more inflammation, all of which accelerates biological aging. What's remarkable is that even small shifts can make a difference. For example, finishing dinner at 7 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. already improves nighttime glucose levels and reduces oxidative stress. Over months and years, these seemingly tiny changes compound into profound differences in long-term health. Imagine lowering your risk of chronic diseases, improving your energy, and potentially extending your life just by moving dinner earlier. Now let's tie this back to the longevity connection. Scientists often talk about the hallmarks of aging, things like mitochondrial dysfunction, telomere shortening, chronic inflammation, and impaired protein quality control. Early eating appears to touch several of these hallmarks. By giving your body more hours in a fasting state overnight, you allow cellular repair processes like autophagy to activate more fully. Autophagy is essentially your body's recycling system, clearing out damaged proteins and cellular debris, keeping your cells young and resilient. Without adequate fasting time, autophagy is blunted, leaving cellular damage to accumulate, a key driver of aging. What's fascinating is how Gen Z has reframed this ancient wisdom. For centuries, cultures around the world practiced early dinners without even realizing their longevity benefits. In the Mediterranean, the largest meal was often lunch, with light evening meals. In Okinawa, where people are famous for their longevity, dinner is small and early, often finished before sunset. Today, Gen Z is rediscovering this not as a cultural tradition, but as a conscious lifestyle hack, often motivated by fitness, productivity, or mental clarity. They might not be quoting circadian biology, but their behavior mirrors the exact patterns scientists say promote longer, healthier lives. Of course, there's resistance. Modern culture romanticizes late dinners after work gatherings, family meals at 9 p.m., or fast food binges after nightlife. Restaurants thrive on late-night dining, and many argue that eating early is impractical in busy lives. But here's the truth: biology doesn't care about convenience. The evidence shows that aligning food intake with natural circadian rhythms has real, measurable impacts on biomarkers of aging and disease. Gen Z's early dinner trend isn't just a fad, it's a powerful act of synchronizing lifestyle with biology. Now, let's address some myths. One common belief is that eating dinner early will leave you hungry at night, but studies show the opposite. People on early TRF often report less hunger overall. Why? Because stable blood sugar and improved hormonal regulation reduce cravings and late-night snacking urges. Another myth is that early eating is only about weight loss. While it can certainly help regulate body fat, the biggest benefits go far beyond weight. They include reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, improved brain health, lower systemic inflammation, and better sleep, all powerful longevity boosters. Speaking of sleep, early eating also improves sleep quality, another overlooked pillar of longevity. Eating late at night forces your body to keep digesting while you sleep, interfering with deep rest and repair cycles. By shifting dinner earlier, you fall asleep faster, enjoy deeper sleep, and wake more refreshed, all while supporting long-term health. This creates a positive feedback loop. Better sleep enhances metabolic health, which reinforces better aging outcomes. So, what can you do if you want to experiment with this centenarian-inspired, Gen Z adopted habit? Start small. Try finishing dinner 2 hours earlier than usual for a week. Notice how your body feels. Pay attention to energy levels, cravings, and sleep. If possible, aim for your last meal to be no later than 6:30 or 7 p.m. And remember, it doesn't have to be rigid. Even moving dinner back an hour is better than nothing. Longevity isn't about perfection. It's about consistent small shifts that add up over time. To make early eating sustainable, keep dinners light but nutrient-dense. Think soups, salads, vegetables, legumes, or fish. Save heavier meals for lunch when your body is most equipped to handle them. This way, you end your day feeling satisfied but not overburdened, and your overnight fast becomes effortless. Combine this with hydration, mindful eating, and plenty of plant-based foods, and you have a blueprint that echoes the exact lifestyles of some of the longest-lived people on Earth. The takeaway is clear. Longevity isn't only about supplements, high-tech interventions, or genetic engineering. Sometimes it's about returning to simple rhythms our ancestors lived by. Gen Z may not realize it, but their early dinner trend aligns perfectly with cutting-edge science and ancient wisdom. Eating earlier gives your body a chance to repair, rejuvenate, and thrive not just today, but for decades to come. As you reflect on this, ask yourself, could your dinner time be silently shaping your future health? Could moving a single meal earlier be the missing piece in your quest for longevity? The science says yes. The centenarians of Okinawa, the scientists studying circadian rhythms, and even the young digital natives of Gen Z, all point to the same conclusion. Eating early may be one of the most powerful, underrated longevity tools we have. And here's the best part. You don't need to spend money, buy a gadget, or take a pill. The power to live longer, healthier, and sharper may be sitting right there on your dinner plate. All you need to do is choose the time wisely.